a few days ago, I had someone tell me that the list of books they wanted to read could crush an elephant, and man, do I feel that. The list of books I wanted to read could like crush a herd of elephants. But next month, I'm going to make significant inroads on my TBR, and these five will definitely be among them. I'll start with the first book, as you do, and it's called The Art of Focus by Dan Coe. Now, if you don't know who Dan Coe is, he's just like absolutely killing it right now in online business. And I mean, he does a lot of things, and he makes a lot of money doing them. So I mean, for one thing, his YouTube channel's at like 500,000 subscribers, and so like obviously he makes money on YouTube, but that's like a small fraction of his income. He's got like memberships, courses. Obviously, the book is a new income stream, and he's got like a company. I don't know too much about it. It's called Cortex. Anyways, he's got a bunch of different like online income streams, and so the book, like the one sentence summary of the book, is freedom through entrepreneurship. And myself, like this is my full time gig too. Like I'm not making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, but I will very very soon. Like I mean, soon as in maybe a couple years, maybe next year, right? So I mean, it takes a long time. But you need focus to even like consider to even like pull yourself out of this sort of default path that society just offers you and that most people just take. And like it takes a lot of, I mean, well, focus and attention. And like it's there's a war like on right now basically for your attention. Like your attention is worth money to people, and like it's honestly, I mean, it's worth money to me right now. I mean, if you subscribe to my channel and I get monetized on this channel, you keep coming back watching videos, and like every ad that you watch on my channel gives me money, right? So and like different things, like obviously my newsletter and whatever. Like I make like money from your attention, and like I'm not evil about it or anything, but attention is basically like the new oil, and like you can get insanely stupid rich by cultivating attention, or like by attracting attention, I should say. And you're either directing your own attention towards like the goals and outcomes that are important to you, or you're letting other people do it for you. And the default path, like the automatic thing that everybody does, is let other people choose where their attention goes. And if you want to like direct your own life, actually make these decisions for yourself, then absolutely, it's The Art of Focus. I've already started reading this. I'm on maybe chapter 3, I think, chapter 4, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So if you liked his videos on YouTube and his sort of writing style, this book is just like greatest hits. And then we've got The Library at Night by Alberto Mangel, and he is the author of one of my favorite books about books, and it's called A History of Reading, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. And I'll put my complete notes from that book down in the video description, along with everything else, like all the books that I mentioned in this video will be down there. But I take notes on every single book that I read, and A History of Reading was one of my absolute favorite books out of the 1,200 and something that I've read so far. And yeah, so I took tons of great notes. And so this is more about libraries themselves, the meaning and mysteries of libraries. And I mean, you take a look at like the chapter titles here, so it gives you like a sort of sense of what's going on here. So you've got the library as, it's how every sort of chapter starts. So you've got the library as myth, the library as order, the library as space, power, shadow, shape, chance, workshop, mind, island, survival, oblivion, imagination, identity, and home. So yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Alberto Mangel's like writing style and his just obvious love of books. Like the guy just, man, he reads even more than I do, which is just positively insane. Anyway, The Library at Night, I'm super looking forward to this one. It's been on my TBR for a very, very long time, so I'm finally going to get to it. All right, the next one is called Dude, Where's My Catharsis by Phil Stark. And he wrote the screenplay to the Ashton Kutcher movie, Dude, Where's My Car? And he's a therapist now. And so his book, like the subtitle, is a friendly and engaging guide to talk therapy. And I did start this one already. I'm on like chapter 3 or whatever. The chapter's super short. Like he covers like a huge swath. I use the word swath whenever I get a chance. Like a huge range of topics, and it's really really good so far. Again, I just started it. This is like very like sneak peek review. But the first chapter is about depression. And he sort of draws an analogy between depression and quicksand, and I thought that was super cool. Just how he sort of makes that connection. How you kind of like if you struggle against either one of those things, it kind of like persists, even more. But if you kind of not just let it happen, but kind of make your way through it. Like with quicksand, like the more you fight to get out of quicksand, the faster you kind of like go like further down, right? Whereas like where depression, like instead of like thrashing around and kind of just fighting your way out of it, realize it's not going to last forever. You can ride it out, and if you stop like thrashing, you can actually get sort of like a better sense of where you are and how you're actually going to be okay. And like it's not like the end of the world. You will survive. Like this isn't the end of everything. And yeah, it's really good so far. Like I'm very like I'm enjoying it even more than I thought I would. And I had positive expectations going into it, but even those are like exceeded. So yeah, dude, where's my catharsis? I like this one. And the fourth book, it's one I'm going to read very, very soon. It's a biography of Jiddu Krishnamurti. And Krishnamurti is one of my biggest intellectual influences. And he's like made such a positive, like profound impact on my life ever since I like discovered him like years ago. I forget exactly when, I think maybe 2018 or something. But I definitely remember where I was when I read the first book by him that I read was The Revolution from Within, and it's a collection of his talks from all over the world. So he traveled everywhere, and he gave these sort of like very small, not lectures, but like discussions. And his main thing was just that you always have to think for yourself. Like he had a famous speech called "Truth is a Pathless Land," and so his whole idea was like, don't follow me, or at least don't like listen to what I'm saying. Like actually like engage with the words, or just pay attention, but don't like blindly accept anything that I say. And like just because I said it and you think that I'm some sort of like big wise man, like I don't like that's not necessarily true. You always have to think for yourself. And truth is a pathless land. There's no prescription for truth. I can't say like down here like this is what you need to believe. This is absolutely true in all times and circumstances. And he's just like questioned everything. And if he had a YouTube channel, I'm sure he would not tell you to subscribe to the channel. He would say, start your own channel, see where it leads. Not like me, who's fairly obviously trying to get you to subscribe to. Anyway, you can do that right down there. That's book number four, and it's like just Jiddu Krishnamurti has been one of like the biggest positive influences on my entire life. And I've read maybe like a dozen of his books and his collection of talks, and they're just absolutely phenomenal. And I know a little bit about his life, but not nearly enough. And this is one of like the only biographies really around from like by about him. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Now, the last one, I've been wanting to read this book for years and years, ever since I realized that it was a book, and it's called "Dying to Do Letterman" by Steve Mazon. And I've never been able to find it. And even like I ordered it maybe like a month ago or whatever, and I paid like $50 for like the one of the last surviving copies of this book. And I don't know what happened to it. It got like lost in the mail. I ordered it again. I found like another last surviving copy. So I paid like a bunch of money for this book, but I don't regret it at all. Like I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'll actually just read part of the back of the book because it tells you like exactly what it's about. Funny how that works. Like usually they'll just put what the book is about just right on the back, and then you can like you don't even need YouTube videos at all. You can just read the backs of books and find what they're about. But anyway, so the subtitle is "Turning Someday into Today," and you'll kind of see how that's relevant. Actually, there's a funny a review on the back here. Another comedian, Wendy Liebman, who I don't think is funny, but she doesn't watch these videos, so who cares? She says, "Inspiring, hilarious. I couldn't put it down. I'm still holding it." I thought, okay, I said she's not funny. That was funny. Anyway, so very briefly, Steve Mazon's "Someday" was to perform on The Late Show with David Letterman. From the time he was 12, he told himself someday, and busily passed the time as a successful stand up comic. Then, in his early 30s, Steve was diagnosed with an incurable form of cancer that spread to his liver. Doctors told him that he might have only 5 years left to live, so Steve did something strange. He started living. His first move was to chase that childhood dream and turn someday into today. He would perform his act live on The Late Show with David Letterman, even if it killed him. And so that's exactly what it's about. Steve, he's still alive, actually, which is cool. And this was, I don't know when the book came out, in like, I don't know, 2018, I want to say. Let's see, bear with me. Let's see, 2011. So, I mean, dude, this cancer is taking a long time. And maybe, I mean, maybe I'll find out it's in remission when I read the book. But I mean, I hope it is. And like Steve, like he seems like such a great guy. He's actually got a really good TEDx talk that I watched a few years ago. And actually, that's where I found out about the book. And it's basically like the book in 10 minutes. Like his whole idea is like asking people, like, what are you dying to do? And so he kind of tells like his story and just like how exactly it kind of happened that he suddenly found himself facing this mortal threat in all of these like childhood dreams that he had and he kind of forgot about and always said that someday he would pursue them but someday never arrived. Like the only someday that showed up was this cancer that was gonna like kill him in 5 years, and he's like, what do I have to lose? And I don't want to spoil book but like whether he actually made it to Letterman, but yeah. And the TEDx talk's really good, and the book seems pretty good too. Like I kind of like read a few pages of the first little bit, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'd be fantastic. So those are 5 of the books that I'm going to read next, and my goal this year is to read 200 books. I just finished my 40th a little while ago, and it's really, really good. I've read like just a stretch of really great books recently, and The Possibility of Life by Jamie Green was really good. The Art of Impossible by Stephen Kotler, and a whole bunch more. I've got a video review of last month's reading coming up on this channel really soon. I do have some more goals this year though, and a few of them are pretty big. So I just reached 109,000 followers on Instagram, and so this year I want to hit 250,000, and I think I have a reasonable shot at doing that. I mean, things on the internet move pretty fast, and so I like a few things. Like I want to get up to 10,000 YouTube subscribers and 10,000 newsletter subscribers and things like that. I want to bump up my monthly business revenue to 25. Sorry, no, that was my old, smaller goal. My mistake. $50,000 by the end of the year, and that's per month top line business revenue. And I have a high degree of confidence that I can make that, and like it's not that hard. So I've got like 10 different revenue streams operating in my business right now. And so Instagram is definitely one of them. So authors, work with me to market their books. And so my newsletter makes money. YouTube, as soon as I get monetized on this channel, it's going to make me, some decent money as well. Writing on Medium, I've got like, different, like a membership site. The competitive advantage is my private community as well, and that's different from the membership site. I know it's confusing, but like it's actually quite simplified, my business model, and that's by design. Like I don't have a whole bunch of things like going on. Like I don't do like drop shipping and like I don't like run like 2 agencies and everything like that. It's fairly streamlined. And so, yeah, I do have a very good chance of hitting $50,000 a month. And right now, I've kind of been turning backwards a little bit to help people that are just a few steps behind me. And like I'm nowhere near where like Dan Co is. Like I'm not at $100,000 a month yet, but I'm at like 5,000 a month. Pretty consistently. And so I've been able to help other people get up to that level. And so where I do that is, yes, some private coaching, like I'm available. Am I? Yes, I am actually. I do have spots left for next month. But like, even if we don't work together one on one, for some people, like they don't really even need that. Like some of them are just fine inside the private community, and it's called the competitive advantage. And so there are about 40 of us in there right now, and that's where I teach everything about business growth and social media growth, some mindset things. I mean, mindset gets a bad rap, bad name, but like it's so incredibly important. You need to have that sort of habit of ferocity that Stephen Kotler talks about in The Art of Impossible. But the main thing to realize is that so few people make it on their own. Like you need to be surrounded by just ambitious strivers and winners, and like people who are actually going in roughly the same direction and want to help you get to where you're going too, and share experiences, perspectives, resources, like actively helping my members grow their business and add like thousands of dollars in monthly recurring revenue to their business. And so yeah, I've just been kind of doing that basically all the time, like all day every day for the last like several months, just kind of like taking like what I know from this point where I am in my sort of business path, I guess, and kind of just helping the people that are a few steps behind me. So I'll leave the first link in the description. Will take you right to my private community where you can join us as well, and where I'll help you add at least like bare minimum $1,000 a month to your business, and like that's like simple, like that's so stupidly simple. Like once you hit that, you'll just see how like just how you were holding yourself back the whole time, and like it was right in front of you, and all you need is someone who's like a few steps ahead of you to show you the way, kind of turn their flashlight backwards and like show you what to do. And so that's what I do inside the competitive advantage. But I will leave it there for right now. Thank you for watching this video. I love talking about books on YouTube, and if you love watching videos about books on YouTube, definitely come back for the next one. And I'm trying to, like, one of my other like monthly goals, like I break them into like yearly, monthly, weekly, daily goals, is to be more like I'm going like doubling down on YouTube, going hard on YouTube, and like putting out videos and like increasing the production quality and just every single thing about it, just making it better, like all around, just like going full force. So yeah. So if you're into that, if you like videos about books that are actually like well made and thoughtful, and from someone who puts effort into them and like wants to like read like hundreds of books and tell you only about the best ones, then maybe consider coming back, subscribing to the channel, liking the video if you feel so inclined. But regardless, thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.
FaceTime, go I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating. Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable.